Islam, so he's American Muslim, and he has been converted Muslim for past 27 years. And since then, he has traveled hundreds of communities to inform audience about anti-Muslim injustice in courtrooms and has been interviewed by ABC, CNN, BBC, and many other news outlets. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Khalil Meek.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alayhi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum. Kayfa halakum? Alhamdulillah. Thank you for the introduction. I wasn't expecting that. My name's Khalil Meek. I'm from Dallas, Texas. And tonight I want to share with you a very, very special blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me to be part of an organization, one of the founders of a charity called the Muslim Legal Fund of America. The Muslim Legal Fund was founded in Dallas, Texas in 2001. And the only thing that the Muslim Legal Fund does is collect money. We travel around the United States asking Muslims to give us zakat, give us sadaqah, give us charity. And with the money that we collect, we spend the money on lawyers. We hire attorneys to defend Muslims' rights in court. So for the last 16 years, the Muslim Legal Fund has funded cases all over the United States. We fund cases in immigration, civil, or criminal at the federal level. And for the last 16 years, when we fund a case, we will go to find the best lawyer in the United States. We'll find the best expert. We will hire the lawyers and the experts, and then we'll tell the community we're funding this case, we hired this lawyer, these are the experts, this is the cost, open a legal fund and people donate. Now, alhamdulillah, we have funded cases from New York to Florida to California, Texas, Chicago, Michigan, all over the United States for 16 years. But tonight, I'm here to share with you the best news that I've shared with any community in the last 16 years. And that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed our organization to change the way we fund cases. We always went to the ACLU, the Center for Constitutional Rights, the National Lawyers Guild, the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers to find out who is the best lawyer to do this, to do this, to do this, and hire them. And we, the Muslim Legal Fund, are not lawyers. I'm not an attorney. But having done this for 15 years, 16 years, I've met the best lawyers in the US because I've been introduced to them and I hired them. Having worked with the best lawyers for that long, we learned which lawyers were good for Muslims on our issues and which ones were not good. And after 16 years, we decided to change the model of funding. Instead of hiring the lawyer and paying them by the hour every time we wanted somebody, we have 18,000 donors in the US, alhamdulillah. Last year we raised $3.3 million. Zero government funding, zero grants, zero money from overseas. From people like you, if you like what we do, then people give us money. We decided to see if we could hire the lawyers that we like the most and pay them a salary. And we would open a non-profit law firm. If they would close their law firms and move to Dallas, we would open a non-profit law firm, give them a salary, then they could all work together as a team for Muslims anywhere in the US for free. And if we got one lawyer to say yes, we would change the model. And the one lawyer that we wanted was a man named Charles Swift. Charles Swift was a lieutenant commander in the United States Navy, a military JAG. Charlie was counsel for the Northwest Division of the US Navy. Charlie was nominated to be general counsel to the entire Navy. He was told when he was in the Navy to defend a man named Salam Hamdan. Salam was the driver of Osama bin Laden. Charlie defended Salam so vigorously it ended up in the US Supreme Court. It was Donald Rumsfeld, the Secretary of Defense, against Salam. Charlie won the case and the driver went home to Yemen. It's not because I'm over the crowd, but I'm just telling you how good of a lawyer Charlie is. He retired from the military in 2008. Charlie opened his own law firm in Seattle, Washington. In 2008, the Muslim Legal Fund met Charlie and asked him if he would work on, if we could hire him to do cases. And he said yes, and we started to hire Charlie for the next 5-6 years. So we've worked with him for the last 5 or 6 years, funding different cases with Charlie. There are 1.2 million lawyers in the US. 1.2 million. National Law Journal, made up of lawyers, who rates all the lawyers, said Charlie's one of the top 100 lawyers in the nation, one of the brightest legal minds in the country. He's a human rights, civil rights attorney, and he said he's number 2 in the nation. Charlie began to see how Muslims were being dealt with in the courtroom. And he saw immigration, civil, criminal cases. He said, Khalil, what they're doing with Muslims in court is the civil rights front for this generation. You, the Muslim Legal Fund, you Muslims are not doing enough. You have to do more. So that's what caused us to say, what can we do more? So we decided we would take all our annual budget. We said, well, we'll take our annual budget, we'll open a nonprofit law firm if you, Charlie, will be the director. We'll give you the entire budget and you hire the best immigration, civil, criminal attorneys in the country. And all of you work together for Muslims anywhere in the US. In August of 2014, Charlie said yes. He closed his law firm in Seattle. He moved to Dallas, Texas. We opened a constitutional law center for Muslims in America. And over the last 2.5 years, Charlie's hired more attorneys. He continues to hire more. We hired the #1 immigration attorney in the nation, Ira Kurzban. Ira wrote the book on immigration that the judges and lawyers use to practice immigration law. He hired Linda Marino, a woman who has over 200 jury trials to verdict, more national security cases than anyone in the US. He hired appellate writers, brief writers, researchers. Now we have 15 attorneys on staff. This year will be a $2 million legal team on salary, plus expenses, that anyone in this room could call and receive their help for free on immigration, civil, criminal, if you have a civil rights, civil liberty, or constitutional issue at the federal level, for free. Takbir. The largest Muslim nonprofit law firm in America. And growing. We added one more service and I'll let you eat dinner. We added a nonprofit business section to our service. We hired a woman from Washington, D.C., who is a specialist in nonprofit business law, licensed to practice in the Supreme Court. She was the general counsel to the United Negro College Fund, managing a $1.6 billion Gates grant to 120 colleges and African-American colleges and universities. Her job was to keep them in compliance with 501c3 tax-exempt status and grant funding requirements. She left that job to come to Dallas to do the exact same thing for mosques, schools, charities for the Muslim community, and donors. Charlie's an expert in OFAC, International Charitable Giving, U.S. regulations, and she's an expert in nonprofit business law, so we're offering free service to all the mosques, schools, relief organizations, anybody who wants to call upon the center and have a risk assessment on how we can help identify risk for leaders, organizations, and mitigate anything that's happening in our community. Call the center. So tonight, we're a proud sponsor of APNA and the physicians in this room. We ask you that if you are traveling or if you're having issues at border crossing or immigration issues or anything to do with charitable giving, call us. We want to help. If you like what we do, we ask you to help us. With that, I say thank you. Jazakallah khair. And Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, sir. Now, I will request Mr. Reddy to come on the stage and give his speech. Mr. Reddy is going to talk about prevention of strokes in AFib and treatment of venous thromboembolism. Please welcome Dr. Reddy.